Walter Rodales, a man who spent more than a decade behind bars, is hoping that in this year's election, his fellow Californians give him back the right to vote.
Prop 17, because I came out, I did my time for what I did. I think I deserve a little bit better than what I'm getting. I work my ass off. I'm here in the community. I'm doing what I have to do. But then you can't tell me I can't vote. I pay my taxes on my checks they give me here, and I can't vote. It's a pat on the back and a slap in the face at the same time.
Proposition 17 would amend the California state constitution and grant voting rights to approximately 95,000 formerly incarcerated people on parole. Rodales is one of them. In 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom signed justice bills to support re-entry, the removal of low-level offenses, and sentencing reform. But advocates feel California can do more. Dr. Cameron Afari, a communications professor at California State University, Los Angeles, feels this measure could change the country's historical disenfranchising of poor minority groups.
A lot of that, what we have here is we're dealing with, and in particular what this Proposition 17 is addressing, is to break through this insane system of corrections where we not only have 2.5 million people in prisons, we also have 4 million people who are under correctional watch or different kinds of parole systems that are being disenfranchised as well too. So this is just a step in the direction of disassembling this system.
Having spent his last 5 years mentoring prisoners, Dr. Afari would agree that the law unequally targets vulnerable communities. Organizational movements such as Homies Unidos and Initiate Justice use their platform to help educate and reintegrate former inmates affected by the justice system. Leading up to the election, Rodales laughs and smiles, imagining himself casting his first ballot.
I've seen the papers, I've seen the envelopes, and I know how to fill them out, I know how to sign them and everything, and I just, casting that first vote would be like, man, I did this already, and nobody can sit there and say they can't do it. You know what I mean? Because we all could do it. Mm-hmm. And the feeling of that was just, just like a deep breath, just like, shh.
Like a relief.
A relief, bro, shh.
Executive Director of Homies Unidos, Alex Sanchez, talks about voting responsibility from the perspective of both community members and those who have completed their parole.
On a personal level, I can't vote. I'm an asylee from El Salvador, so I rely on other people to vote for the needs that I have. So it's critical for us to educate people, especially those that are able to vote, that are formerly incarcerated, that are able to vote, to understand the importance of their civil obligations, and historically how we've been denied the right to vote, how we've been persecuted, how many people have died just for having the right to vote.
According to a study conducted by the Sentencing Project, over 5 million Americans are ineligible to vote because of their criminal past. California and 30 other states prohibit inmates and parolees from casting votes in elections due to state law. With a disproportionate rate of imprisonment between Black and Latinx in California, this notably affects the lives of minority communities and public engagement amongst those reintegrating back into society. Anna Manauti, Program Director for Homies Unidos, believes formerly incarcerated people have the right to be represented in the electoral process.
And we need to really follow what it means to be a democracy, and it means the voice of all of us, right? We want liberty and justice for everybody, and that includes our loved ones who have served their time and are now back home living under parole.
Not all voters agree that parolees should participate in shaping the lives of the general public. Ruth Wise, Vice President of the Election Integrity Project California, declined our request for an interview, but recently appeared on KPCC's Air Talk with Larry Mantle. She argues that parolees must first demonstrate full rehabilitation and adapt to society before influencing an election.
These aren't people that just sort of went astray a little bit. They have completely lost their moral compass, and they have not spent just a week or a month or half a year in jail. prison terms for these kinds of things are a great deal longer. So they have been completely isolated from society for a good period of time.
Although formerly incarcerated people have been charged with serious crimes, Wise thinks in order to regain their vote, they must first complete their parole.
I think those decisions need to be made by people who are a little bit more adjusted and understand the society and have revamped their lives and proven to the satisfaction of the penal system and the justice system that they really are ready to reenter and be a productive citizen.
I think people that are formerly incarcerated and people that are coming back out into our society, they have just as much worth as the next person.
Lee Gibson, an advocate for Initiate Justice who spent 20 years in the prison system, explains why parolees deserve a second chance.
If we start to break down everybody's decision and their choices that they've made in their life and say that they're forever banned or they're forever barred from having a seat at the table when it comes to those issues, I think that we're doing ourselves an injustice because we're not taking into consideration the experience that they've gained since then and the awareness that they now have and the ability that they have to contribute to the subject or to the matter.
Homies Unidos gave Walter Rodales the opportunity to reshape his life and make an impact in his community. His participation in food drives and voter registration signifies his growth as a role model and future voter.
You know, I did mine. I could honestly, you know, turn back to my kids and, you know, your father did it. Mm-hmm. You know, anybody could do it.